Hello students, I welcome you all for our next lecture in real analysis. Today we are going to see the topics equivalence and countability. To start with, let me first give you the definition of equivalent set. The very name itself, we can guess that we are going to see something about relation with sets. Okay, so for to define an equivalent set, we need a two set. So two sets A and B are said to be equivalent if there exists a one-to-one onto mapping from A to B. That is, there exists a bijection or one-to-one correspondence. So let me explain this first. So from the we have to define an equivalent set, we need two sets. So A and B are two sets, and these sets are said to be equivalent if there exists a one-to-one and on-to mapping. Mapping, from the very name mapping, we can guess that there is a relationship between A and B, and that relationship must be one-to-one and on-to. Okay, and we are denoting the equivalent set by tilde. This notation is called tilde. This is tilde. Okay, and if A and B are equivalent, suppose if there is a function f from A to B, and if it is one-to-one and on-to, then it is equivalent set. And if they are equivalent, we denote it by, we write it as A tilde B. I hope you all understand this. We'll see an example. So if f is a function from set of all natural numbers to even numbers. So, and my f of n is defined as f of n is equal to 2n. So, from this function f of n is equal to 2n, it is clear that for every element in my domain n, I'll get an image in the codomain and it will be distinct. And also every element in the codomain will have pre-images. Therefore, my function f is one-to-one and on-to. I hope you understand. Let me explain you this further detail. So, if I put n is equal to 1, I will get f of 1 as what? 2. If I put n is equal to 2, my value will be 4. If I put n is equal to 3, my value will be 6. So, this 1, 2, 3, all my 1, 2, 3 are natural numbers. 2, 4, 6 are even numbers. And I can see that for every element in my domain, the image is distinct. And also for every element in the codomain, this 2, 4, 6 is having pre-images. Therefore, this is one-to-one as well as what? On-to. We will see a theorem with respect to this equivalent set. This relation tilde is an equivalence relation. This is what the theorem says. So, I hope you already know what is the equivalence relation. Let me quickly tell you what is the equivalent relation. So, a relation is said to be equivalence if it is reflexive. Reflexive means it has to be related to itself. Suppose if A is a set, A must be related to itself. Then I can say it is reflexive. And it is symmetric if A is related to B, then the reverse must hold goods. That is, B must relate to A. And the third one is transitive. That means if A is related to B and B is related to C, we have to show that A is related to C. Okay, and we know that this tilde is an equivalent relation, and this tilde is true only when the function is one-to-one and on-to. Now, you can guess when a function is reflexive. When, students? Yes, when it is one-to-one, then you can, when it is an identity function, then I can say it is what? Reflexive. Elements which is related to itself. And when it can be symmetric, we'll see. And the transitive condition. We'll see the proof now. First condition, as I said, that relation tilde equivalence relation is reflexive when it is a there exists an identity mapping. That is, if A is related to itself, then it is what? Reflexive. Obviously, when it is related to itself, it will be one-to-one and it will be onto. Therefore, A is related to A itself. To prove symmetric, that is, this tilde is symmetric, assume that A is related to B. A and B are equivalent set. If A and B are equivalent set, then there exists a function f. By the definition, we know that there is this function f from A to B, then this function will be what? One-to-one and on-to. We already know, we read in the previous section that if f is a one-to-one and on-to function, then what? F inverse will exist, isn't it? So f inverse exists means the reverse of f. F is from A to B. What will be the reverse? It will be from B to A. Obviously, since f is one-to-one and onto, this f inverse will be one-to-one and onto. That means my B is related to, B is equivalent to A. So we have proved the symmetry condition also. Next, we'll see the transitive condition. So from the transitive condition, we have to prove what? If A is related, A is equivalent to B, B is equivalent to C, I have to prove A is equivalent to C. And we can guess this, we can prove using composition of function. So since A is related to B, let me take a function f from A to B. And since B is related to C, B is equivalent to C, let me take another function g from B to C, such that it must be what? One-to-one and on-to. Obvious it is actually, because since it is it is an equivalent set, the f and g must be bijective only. Now take the composition, g composition f. So g composition f will be from A to C. And we know that composition of function, if the functions are one-to-one and onto, then the composition of function is also one-to-one and onto. Thus, I can say that A and C are equivalent, and we have proved the transitive condition also. Hence, my tilde, this tilde equivalent is a equivalence relation. I hope you understand. Just listen once again. Surely you will understand, students. Next, we'll move on to our next topic, finite and infinite set. I'll quickly revise this because you already know what it is. So, finite set means what? It will have countable element. Infinite set means it will have infinite number of elements. Countably infinite also it may have. So, a set is called finite if it contains only n number of elements. It have only particular n number of element, and I can say it is finite. Otherwise, it will be what? Infinite set. Okay, we'll see a remark. When two sets A and B contain finite number of elements, that means A and B will have finite element, and if A is equivalent to B, then A and B will have same number of elements. So, if A and B are finite, finite means what? N number of elements. And if this is equivalent set, A and B are equivalent, then what can I say? A and B will have what? Same number of elements. It is obvious, right? If it is equivalent means there exists one-to-one and onto, and since it is finite and it is countable, obviously they must have what? Equal number of elements. Okay. This is actually a trivial case. We'll see the next remark. The remark is this: when they contain infinite number of elements, it is possible to establish a one-to-one correspondence between a set and proper subset of the set. Okay, if it is infinite number of elements, if it has infinite number of elements, then one set can be a subset of the other. Okay, we'll see example for the second remark. Suppose let me define a function f from I to B. a function f from I to b. I is nothing but set of all positive integer, b is even number. Okay. Now here positive integer means 1, 2, 3, 4. B is even number means 2, 4, 6, 8. So we already know for each and every element of my I, I'll get an element in B. Therefore, it is 1 to 1 and on to. But mathematically we can say, but we have to prove it theoretically. For to prove f is 1 to 1, we know by the definition of 1 to 1, we can if f will be 1 to 1. F will be 1 to 1 only when distinct images have distinct pre-images. Okay, so that is if f of x is equal to f of y implies what? I have to prove x is equal to y. If they are equal, then the pre-images is also equal. If I prove this, then I can say it is 1 to 1. And we will prove that. So if I take f of n1 is equal to f of n2, then by the definition of my function, the given function, it can be written as 2n1 is equal to 2n2. I can cancel 2, I am getting n1 into n2. Therefore, when the images are equal, the pre-images are also equal. Therefore, this is 1 to 1. And it is on to, for every even number in my set B, there will be a positive number integer in I, such that I will be having f of n is equal to 2n. This is obvious. Yes. So I can say my I and B are what? Equivalent set. I hope you understand. Next we will see countable and uncountable set. Before getting into a countable definition, set A is said to be denumerable. That means if what does denumerable means? If there exists a 1-to-1 correspondence between the positive integer and the set. If it may be finite or infinite. Okay. If I am able to count it, if I am able to give count the set of elements in my A, then I can say it is denumerable. Okay. And next we will see what is the countable set. A set A is said to be countable if either A is finite. If it is finite, I can say it is countable. Or if A is infinite and if I am able to count the value as 1, 2, 3, if I am able to assign values as a set of all positive integer, also my set A is a what? Countable set. Okay. And if a set which is not countable is called what? Uncountable set. Okay. I hope you understand. That is, I'll give you an example. Suppose if A is equal to 1, 2, 3. What is the cardinality of this A? 3. And I can count the values. Let me take 11, 26, 36. Okay. Again, I have 3 elements. Therefore, it is countable. Suppose if my A is equal to -1, -2, -3, etc. Is it countable? Yes, it is countable. It may be an infinite set, but it is a denumerable set. I can count the first value is -1, second value is -2, third value is -3. Since I am able to count the values in each, I can assign integer value to each elements in my A. This A is also what? Countable set. I hope you understand. If I am not able to assign integer value or if it is not finite, then it will be what? Uncountable set. For example, let me take A to be 0, 1, closed interval 0. How many values are there between 0 and 1? Tell me. There will be infinite number of elements. Therefore, it is uncountable. I hope you understand. We will quickly move on to our next theorem. We have to prove the set of all integer is countable. Okay. So, what is integer? Integer means negative integer, positive integer with 0 is called integer. Isn't it? So, we have to prove this Z is, that the set of all integer is countable. When can you say it is countable? Just now we have seen if it is what? Equivalent to my I, that is set of all positive integer. If I am able to denumerate it, then I can say it is a what? Countable set. So I have to prove this, that is I have to prove there exists tilde means what? 1 to 1 and on to. So I have to prove that there is a function f from I to z and this function is 1 to 1 and on to. If I prove this, then I can very well say that the set of all integer is what? Countable. First, to prove that z is countable, we have to show that f from I to z is 1 to 1 and on to. Before proving f to be 1 to 1 and on to, let me define the function of f. This f as f of n is equal to n minus 1 by 2 when it is odd, when my n values are odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7 like that. If and it will be f of n is equal to minus n by 2 when n is even, if n takes even number of values 2, 4, 6, 8 like that. So if I put f n as 1, it will come under first thing. So substitute here, it will be 1 minus 1 by 2, it will be 0. If I put n is equal to 2, it comes under second function. So minus 2 by 2, which will be minus 1. If I put n is equal to 3, I will get the value as plus 1. If I put n is equal to 4, I will get the value as minus 2. And if you arrange this function value, you will get the set of all what? Integers. I will be having all the minus values also, 0 and also the positive integer term. Therefore, it will, this function will form a, elements of the positive integer. Okay. So, we can see that from this example, very definition itself, it is 1 to 1 as well as on to, but we have to prove this theoretically. So, what is the step to prove 1 to 1? If the images are equal, have to prove what? Inverse image also equal. Since we have two cases, odd and even cases, for two cases you have to show, for both the cases you have to show the if the images are equal, I have to prove the inverse image is also equal. So first consider the first case. If f of n1 is equal to f of n2, then n1 minus 1 by 2 is equal to n2 minus 1 by 2. So cancel 2, then you take minus 1 to the other side, I am getting n1 is equal to n2. Similarly, for the even case, it will be minus n1 by 2 is equal to minus n2 by 2. Again, if you cancel 2 and minus, you'll be getting n1 is equal to n2. Therefore, this f is what? 1 to 1. And it is clear from 1. What is 1? The very definition of my function fn. I'm distributing my z entries, right? N minus 1 by 2 as if n is odd, it will be n minus 1 by 2. If n is even, it will be minus n by 2. So by this definition, each element is having pre-images, therefore it is on to. Yes. So it is clear from 1 that for every element in Z, there